Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Ninth Legion. Let's play some more Starsector. Last episode, we made quite a haul. We made a lot of money on our first cargo run. We made 40,000 credits hauling food to this little planet here, Nidhogg, which was out of food. Was it Nidhogg or was it? I think it was Ratatosk actually. We took it to Ratatosk. There we go. So yeah, they were suffering a bit of a food shortage, which meant that food prices had rocketed up by 200 credits. And we were able to help that a little bit by dropping off a massive pile of food that they were quite appreciative of. However, that's not the end of the story. Getting here has actually used up a lot of our fuel and supplies. So I'm thinking we need to restock, and Ratatosk is not actually the place to do it. They don't really have very much in the way of anything. So, where can we head to next is the question. Now, there's the Mimmer Siphon platform by Niflheim, and on the other side of the system there's the Ragnar Relay and the Ragnar Complex. Now that sounds like it's going to be a lot more useful to me. So that's Hegemony as well, who we started off in the Hegemony system and they were quite happy with us. That's a Tritachian patrol, and they were a bit unhappy with us actually because we've been trading with Hegemony planets. So we want to stay away from Niflheim and head for Ragnar. Let's do that. So come out of the map, there we go. And we can speed up time a bit, so hopefully it won't take too long to get there. Now we're travelling through the gravity well of this gas giant here, so our fleet speed does drop dramatically. But if we just check the map again quickly, yeah, we should have a straight run there. There's not really much to intercept us, with the exception of this. What is that? Is that Pirate Scout? I mean, we could probably take a Pirate Scout if he decided to come after us, but right now our fleet isn't really built for combat. I can check that out and show you what I mean actually. Let me have a quick look. We've got two ships. We have the Acer 3, which is a Mule class combat freighter. The Mule class is a tough nut to crack, which makes its designation as a combat freighter apt. Pirates will often bypass even a lone mule and go off in search of easier prey. So this isn't a bad ship in and of itself, but you know, it's a combat freighter. It's a freighter. So it's got some good guns on it, but right now I'm not really sure I want to be taking it into combat. And actually the same goes for our Hound class, which is also a combat freighter. So this is a little frigate, an old but durable hull class that lacks a shield generator. This frigate is sometimes used to ferry cargo instead of for combat duty. A lucky or gifted officer could make his fortune given the chance to capture one. And certainly we've made a lot of money so far, but neither of these two are really primarily combat ships. Right now our Hound class has a single forward firing assault chain gun and the light jolt machine gun covering the rear. The Mule class does have a lot more weapons. It's got Salamander MRMs and a whole battery of light machine guns covering its flanks. Oh, and also a pulse laser. That's actually quite useful. That pulse laser could come in handy. But still, neither of these ships are, really suited for combat. I don't want to go hunting down pirates just yet. Now, don't get me wrong, we will definitely be hunting down and killing pirates later on. It can be very lucrative, and it can be a good way to capture a lot of ships. If you want to build up a big fleet, that could be really good. So what's happening in the world? The food shortage on Ratatosk, a relief fleet has arrived. So if you remember, someone else had also sent off a big pile of food off to help that planet out. And it looks like it's just arrived. So we made it just in time to, get a lot of money out of that. There's a fleet going past us. A tiny little Hegemony trade fleet. Looks like they've got a tanker and some kind of freighter. I don't quite recognise all the ship classes yet. Hegemony patrol. Yeah, they've got a tanker, 3 wings of fighters, a frigate, and what I think are a couple of destroyers. That would be quite a tough nut to crack if we were so inclined. Right now, I'm quite comfortable having the Hegemony on my side. Who knows? The way things go, we could always turn pirate later on. So, lots of stuff happening in the universe around us. Here we go. So, Ragnar Complex, the boneyard of the Hegemony. In addition to the garrison stationed here to support system patrols and a fleet in being to discourage League incursions, the Ragnar Complex stores ship hulks awaiting refurbishing or the overhaul to Arcadia or the haul to Arcadia for shipbreaking, a task generally contracted to friendly megacorps. The station is traditionally commanded by an aging senior officer sent to quietly live out their mediocrity. That sounds like a perfect place for us to go, considering we just made quite a lot of money. I wonder if they're going to have any ships they might want to sell. Let's have a look. So those are our 2 ships. Ah, okay, they do have some vessels to sell. Buffalo D, yeah, so they've got some freighters. And unfortunately we can't they don't like us enough to let us actually trade directly with the military. There is a black market here though. And that black market does have some interesting ships. They've got a light carrier, which could be fun. They've also got a Sunder class destroyer. 28,800 credits. The ISS Hydra, a technologically advanced yet fragile destroyer from the expansion epoch, designed to provide additional firepower in fleet actions rather than serve on independent patrols. It has powerful shield emitters and energy weapons, but is vulnerable to strike craft. So that's not a terrible looking ship. I mean, I haven't played much of this game, certainly not this version of it. But it's got 1 large energy mount, 2 medium energy mounts, 2 small missile mounts, and 3 small ballistic mounts, which definitely sounds like something we could have fun with. And given our current lack of combat ability, could be a useful escort. It's only 28,800 credits. Or there is also the Hammerhead class destroyer right next to it, which is actually less money. That's interesting. So let's have a look at this. A core epoch midline destroyer respected for its staying power in battle as well as its ballistic capabilities. So that has 2 small missile mounts, 2 medium ballistic mounts, and 4 small energy mounts. Again, not terrible. Slightly less money. Let's see if I can get the comparison here. So it's 4,800 credits less. Does look like it has less firepower. But so hull integrity of 4,000 and armor rating of 250. Hull integrity of 5,000, armor rating of 500. So this is definitely, more suited to combat. Has a front shield. What kind of shield do you have? You have a front shield with an arc of 300. So their shields are pretty much the same. I'm actually tempted by the Hammerhead. That actually sounds like it might be more kind of suited to us. And right now, if we look at our 2 ships, we've got a maximum burn rating of 4. We're limited to the Mule class combat freighter. So buying the Hammerhead won't actually slow us down at all. That's got a maximum burn of 4 as well. Yes, I think we're going to buy a Hammerhead class destroyer, just to escort our 2 freighters. So, congratulations, you just bought a new ship. It doesn't have any weapons or hull mods installed, so it's a good idea to get it outfitted. You'll also need to make sure you have enough personnel to crew it. So, if we open the refit screen, when refitting a ship while docked at a space station, you can mount both the weapons in your cargo hold and the ones available for purchase at the station. Undoing the changes to the ship's loadout, or simply unmounting the purchased weapons, will refund the credits used, but only if you haven't navigated away from the refit screen. Okay, so basically we've got everything will be available to us from here. So let's have a look. We've got okay, so those 2 small energy turrets on the back there, which look like they have pretty good arcs. Mining lasers aren't great. Cheap utility laser that is hardwired for missile and fighter defense. This configuration gives it longer range than most point defense weapons. I mean, that's useful. I'm not gonna say that's not. Unfortunately, we need 4 of them, and there's only 2 available at this station, but it might be enough to get us somewhere else. Let's see. Swarmer SRM launcher, Annihilator rocket launcher or Reaper class torpedo. Interesting. So anti-fighter high explosive, a short range guided missile launcher. The missiles are designed to intercept and destroy enemy fighters and do little damage to heavier ships. So depends if we think we're going to be facing a lot of fighters. Annihilator rocket launcher, which is a great name, fires a spread of unguided rockets that cover a wide area, typically used as a support weapon. Okay. And Reaper class torpedo, a single devastatingly powerful unguided torpedo with a powerful onboard engine. Well, we definitely don't want the swarmers. I don't think we're going to be going up against many fighters, especially not right at the start. And medium ballistic hardpoint, so we've got plenty of choices here. Thumpers are pretty good. Shreds enemy missiles and fighters with an overwhelming hail of medium velocity fragmentation rounds. Flux efficient, but less effective versus armor and shields. Heavy Mauler, an advanced weapon system designed to punch through armor plating at long range. Has a low rate of fire and a high per shot damage. Now that sounds like something you need to be quite accurate with, which is not really my strong point. Arbalest autocannon, an antiquated weapon design with high per shot damage for its size. The kinetic shells are especially effective against enemy shields. So that does 60 shots per minute, so it's one shot every second. Same as the Heavy Mauler. Okay, so they're not, neither of them are faster. The Thumper is really fast. Light machine gun. Yeah, that's not kind of the thing we're looking for, especially not as the main weapon on our ship. Maybe the Thumper will be the way to go. We've still got plenty of money left. We've got 25,000 credits left. So we can afford a couple of these, I think. There we go. Let's try the Annihilator rockets. And it looks like we'll have to have... Now there's only 2 of these for sale at this station, so we're going to equip them on the back mounts here. That covers most of the ship with these mining lasers. Can't quite manage anything for these ones yet, there's no options. Nothing else remains. So, and we can also include a hull modification. So, we could have accelerated shields, which increases the turn rate of the ship's shields by 100%, and the rate at which the shields are raised by 100%. So basically the shields will raise faster, they'll come into existence faster, and they'll turn faster. Shields can be manoeuvred. If you don't have an Omni shield which surrounds the ship entirely, it only covers a certain fraction of the ship. Blast doors installs hermetic and heavily reinforced doors at critical junctions throughout the ship. Increases hull integrity by 20% and reduces the crew casualties by 50%. That sounds pretty good. Dedicated targeting core, which we can't install. Expanded magazines increases the ammo capacity or the number of charges for ballistic and energy weapons by 50%. That's pretty good. Hardened subsystems increases peak operating time for ships that suffer degraded performance from extended deployment by 50%. Okay, that's useful. Or unstable injector increases the ship's top speed in combat by 40, 30, 25 or 20 SU per second depending on the hull size, and also increases acceleration by 100%. The engines take 4 times more damage in combat. So if you really want to go fast, the unstable injector would be the way to go, but you're going to take a lot of damage, and we don't want to take a lot of damage. This ship's not geared to take a lot. I don't think that's what we want for this ship. What I think is the blast doors. Increases hull integrity by 20% and reduces crew casualties. That sounds like a winner to me. So there we go, we've got that installed. We could play around with the amount of capacitors, which is our flux capacity, and the vents, which is how fast we get rid of flux. And flux is something that builds up when your shields are activated and you fire your weapons and you take damage. And if you hit a certain point, which on this ship is 4,200, you need to vent it to get rid of it. Otherwise the ship overloads, the power systems fail, and basically you become disabled momentarily. Which is obviously a terrible thing when you're in combat. So we can increase that. This costs us ordnance points, I believe. We can have basically out of 80, and that includes all the weapons you fit, or hull modifications. Oh, we can actually have more than one hull modification. Interesting. Well, in that case, we'll have expanded magazines as well. Let's make this a proper bruiser. Now, is there any downside to increasing this up to the maximum? I'm guessing not. None of these other figures seem to be changing, so we can increase the flux capacity to 8,200, which to me seems pretty good. And we can also increase our dissipation rate to 15, so that gives 400 flux dissipated, I would guess, per second. So possibly having a huge flux capacity isn't great, because it'll take a long time to get rid of it. But we can choose when and how we flux, how we vent our flux. I think that works out okay. So, the ISS Kamaxtli 2, might have to change that name later, I can't quite pronounce that, so we'll have to see. And weapon groups, so we can assign which weapons are controlled when and where. Now I think the mining lasers, certainly we're going to be wanting to auto-fire. Okay, there we go. So thumpers are going to be on 1, Annihilator rocket launchers are on 2, and the mining laser turrets are on 3. So we're going to want that. Right, okay. So I'm going to set this up with the 2 forward-facing thumpers on automatic and the mining lasers, so they will automatically engage and destroy targets. I'm going to keep personal control of the Annihilator rocket launchers. We have a limited number of shots and I want to make sure they hit the target. So everything else the ship can do what it wants. I'll be controlling these directly, and we'll see how that works out. So there we go. There we go, our 1 new destroyer for our fleet. So I think if I just exit that, we should automatically spend the money, I believe it said. And we could also, well, while we're here, there we go, financial transaction confirmed. So as soon as we exited that, it installed everything and took our money. We could see about changing our assault chain gun for something else, but I don't really see anything fantastic to change it for. Now what have we got? We've got a light dual machine gun. Yeah, we don't really want to change that for anything else. I think that works pretty well there. And this guy, now maybe if there are some more, no, there aren't any more light dual machine guns available. That would have been a good upgrade for that. And we don't really want to change out the salamanders. No, I don't think we want to change for any of these weapons either. Pulse laser seems fairly good actually. So okay, we're going to leave it at that. We're not going to change our other 2 ships for the time being. Ooh, shielded cargo holds. What does shielded cargo holds give us? How can I see what that does? Shielded cargo holds. Commonly found on ships that can't always rely on shields to protect their cargo from cosmic radiation. Only a few tweaks are needed to have the shielding confound long-range cargo stands, both reducing the probability of contraband being detected by customs inspections and the apparent value of the cargo for toll assessment. Okay, so if we did, yeah, because we, if we want to smuggle, that would be good. Wonder if we could add something like that for this ship, but it doesn't appear to be an option. Oh well. So if we come out of here, now we are going to need some personnel. I believe currently, where are we for crew? Yeah, so currently we have 65 crew and no marines, and the fleet requires 100 crew for all ships to function optimally. So right now we've got our 65 crew here. We are going to need to buy some more crew, and they come in different flavours. You can have green crew, which are inexperienced recruits. The best that can be said for them is they can get the ship moving and the batteries firing in the right general direction. And they are 27 credits per unit, which seems to be about standard looking at the prices below that. We have regular crew, spaceship crew regulars. Through training or hard-won experience, these men and women have become capable of efficiently carrying out the will of their commanding officer, which would be me. And they have a max combat readiness of plus 60%. Okay, and the green crew have a max combat readiness of plus 50%. So they're more expensive, but they are definitely better. We've still got quite a lot of money, so I'm not too concerned. Let's pick up Well, I say let's pick up 40 of these guys. These lucky men and women to come serve us. And that'll give us plenty of crew for all of our ships. There we go. So we could have up to 240, I suppose. Actually, maybe that's a bit... I keep saying we've got plenty of money. I shouldn't be worried about spending money right now. Let's get some extra crew, because we might lose some through combat. In fact, let's just buy another 40. There we go. So that would be 80 crew. Give us 145 out of 240. And it's going to cost us 5,752. But let's see. We are going to want some more supplies. We've got 20 supplies and we use 5.45 per day. I think that will go down a bit as our new ship gets up to readiness, but for the time being we are going to be using a lot of supplies. So let's get... and we've got plenty of cargo space at the moment. Let's see about changing that up a bit. Let's get another 30. There we go. And we'll do the same for fuel. No harm having a lot of fuel. Let's get 23 units of fuel. So we've got 50 supplies, 50 fuel, and 145 crew. Now they've got some other stuff we could buy if we wanted to do another, another cargo run. Domestic goods, mass-produced clothing, gadgets, wares, and goods. So they're actually really expensive here. 71 credits to buy. Nowhere else we've been so far that we have the prices on really wants to buy them that much. We could buy 18 units of food at 49 credits. Might be able to go back to Restocking and actually sell them off for a profit still. It's only 900 credits, screw it. We might be able to turn a little bit of profit. Okay, so full repairs require 16 supplies. I don't know where we've got damage from, but we'll do that. Okay, so that's got us up to maximum combat readiness as well, at the cost of 16 supplies. So, yeah, so now we're down to using 1.4, so 1.45 supplies per day. We've got 34 supplies, so we should be good for quite a while. Plenty of fuel. Let's see if we can't go back to Restocking and see if they want to buy just a little bit more food. Can't quite actually see where Restocking is on the map, but screw it. Let's head that direction again. See, now that's a big mercenary patrol. Lots of ships. They've got a carrier in there. They've got a destroyer like ours, our little hammerhead destroyer, which is actually a really cool ship. And speaking of really cool ships, I think we're going to want to be the one in charge of that. So I'm going to designate as the flagship. And yeah, we'll now be in charge of the ISS Kamaxli 2. We definitely need a new name for that ship. News in Valhalla. Smuggling activity at Ragnar Complex in the Valhalla system. Was that us? No, that wasn't us. I mean, I bought some stuff on the black market, but, you know. Standing with the pirates improved due to trade. Oh, okay. Well, apparently because I bought stuff off the black market, the pirates are a bit happier with me now. Which is kind of a shame, because I was looking forward to blowing them up. But I wouldn't, I doubt they're that happy with me that they're just going to ignore me. Especially if they think I've got anything valuable. So let's see if Restocking is still looking to buy some food for us. Food shortage at Ragnar Complex. Now that is interesting. That might be because of us. That could be because of us, because we bought all of the food they had there. You see what I mean? We purchased all their food and now they've run out of food. You would have thought it would have made sense if they, might not have wanted to actually sell all of that. No, see, we're not going to make very much of a profit on that at all. I mean, it's only 18 units of food, but no, probably not worthwhile selling that. In fact, as we've just created a food shortage elsewhere in this system, kind of by accident, we could actually start buying food and heading back the way we just came. It would be for a very tiny profit, though. I'm not entirely sure it would be worth it. let's have a look at our intel tab and see what else is going on at the moment. So there are plenty of bounties being offered. Might be worthwhile keeping an eye out for some of these people, see if there's something we want to engage with. So where's this? Refitting. I cannot pronounce that name. That planet in the Valhalla system has had its trade disrupted. The report points to piracy or war as being the most likely culprit, and food has gone up by 130 credits. Okay. So, I mean, we are in Valhalla, are we not? So, that's actually the planet right next to us. Okay, I have an idea. I'm going to buy their food. They're probably going to have a food shortage as well. Let's leave here. And we're going to go to the planet that's also orbiting this gas giant. There are 2 planets here, I believe. Nighog. There we go. So this is a frozen world. Water and ammonium ice form the immense rifts and chaotically furrowed plains of this world. Below the surface, small pockets of lifeless liquid ocean are trapped between the ice and a crust made of rocky silicates. Some volatiles mining and a begrudging experimental subsurface organics farming initiative takes place, encouraged by hegemony development grants. So this doesn't sound like a very nice place to live. That's a trade fleet. They're delivering food to Restocking. I wonder what's actually in their fleet. Not very much. Were we to consider turning pirate, we could possibly take their fleet, steal their food, and then sell it ourselves. But I don't think we're going to do that. So yeah, they've got trade disruption and they're interested in food, which I can understand because this is an uninhabitable world, a barren planet which cannot support life as we know it. They've got 30,000 people here, it looks like. And it's just a little outpost of the hegemony. So how much do they want to pay for food? 126 credits. I mean, that is, what, 75%? We bought this stuff for 51 credits and they want to buy it for 126. So we're definitely going to turn a profit of, okay, 1,600 credits. Not really worth it in the long run. Not quite the big gain we made at the start, but still not terrible. Now they do have some more weapons here. They've got some more light machine guns, which we don't need. Well, point defense lasers. They do have some point defense lasers. Interesting. Okay, we might want to purchase something from the black market here if we can get away with it. Let's go into refitting. And what I'm interested in, can I get point defense lasers? Yeah. Now, it's going to cost me 8 ordnance points, so we're going to have to get rid of something that we put on last time. Probably I'm tempted to get rid of some of the capacitors here. So, 240 credits each. They're not very expensive at all. We've still got almost 10,000 credits on us. Okay. So, that would... I'm actually thinking these back ones have a much better arc. They can cover the entire ship basically, whereas these ones at the front have a smaller arc. If I put the dedicated point defense lasers here, and then I have my mining lasers here, that gives us... I think that's a big improvement. I think that's a big improvement there. Okay, let's go for that. So that's not going to cost us very much. Oh, okay, never mind, I need to go and do the weapon groups. So, let's have a look. Weapon groups, here we go. So let's put the mining lasers... All of the point defense weapons are going to be on the same weapons group essentially, and they're all going to be set to auto fire, so they're all automated. Okay. Excellent. Well, we made a little bit of money, but we did end up spending quite a lot more. Looks like we're down to about 10,000 credits. We either need to... Ooh, hello. Neutral trade fleet. We're returning to Restocking with metals and food. Do we want to consider turning pirate? Not really. I wouldn't mind fighting some pirates, but right now I don't think there's any need to turn pirate itself. And yeah, this system seems a bit poor. There's a lot going on here, but not so much that we can make a big profit again. We might want to head back out into the wider world, I think. But that will likely be something for next episode, so we're going to leave it here. Thanks for watching, leave a like, leave a comment, and feel free to subscribe, and hopefully I will see you later. Bye!